Paddock Mall Studios. This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. Nice looking day. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Our next guest is a very prolific author. She's got a lot of books to her name. She's got a new one she wants to tell you about called Spark. J.T. Bishop is the author. She's on the phone right now, and I have a question for her about Eve Fletcher's brothers. I wonder if she has a brother. She needs a brother. That's what I'm thinking. I was reading what I read just then. Good morning, J.T. How you doing?
I'm great this morning, Larry. How are you?
I'm okay. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
So, Eve Fletcher, my first question. Does she have a big brother? Because she needs him to give her some advice. She's just falling for this guy.
She has a big brother.
Well,
but I can't say more than that. I have to keep it secret.
Oh, man. See, Robin probably knows the answer to all my questions because she always gets further into the book than me. But
you got to keep reading.
I got far enough to say, wait a minute. If I was her big brother, I would say, gosh, do not trust this guy. I don't trust him. All right.
Yeah.
So
keep reading. That's all I can say.
So that was, in a way, a tease for our listeners. Can you tell us about the story in Spark? Oh, I don't think I told the title. The book is called Spark. Tell us the thumbnail sketch of the story.
Okay. Well, it's about Eve Fletcher. It's sort of a continuation of the Fletcher family saga. I'm sort of writing a sister series to my original trilogy. This is the third book. It can be read alone, but ideally, if you can read them in order, that's the best way to go about doing it. But it's Eve's story, and it's about how she's sort of meets someone of interest, but we don't really know who he is and what his motives are.
Right.
And she also finds out that she's potentially in a very dangerous situation.
I know.
With somebody else, a former boyfriend that she's got to get herself out of. And then you're trying to figure out her family background and secrets. So there's a whole lot of stuff rolling around with Eve going on right now.
And she's got a lot of stuff that she needs to keep to herself, right?
Yes, she has a lot of stuff that she can't talk about. That, she doesn't know who to trust. So, a lot of stuff interesting that's happening.
Oh, my gosh. Can I ask a question about writing this kind of a story?
Sure.
And it's also classified as science fiction, so I wanted you to elaborate on that a little bit. But, I mean, when you're writing this, are you already aware of how it's going, or does it kind of reveal itself to you?
A little bit of both. I have an idea of where it's going. I know how I'm going to end it. But those things do reveal themselves as I write, and I can kind of incorporate those things into the story. So I'm kind of open to things as they show up because you never know. Something really good could pop in that you want to throw in.
Yeah.
And I will frequently do that. I'll frequently get an idea and think, oh, yeah, that would work really well, and I'll just put it right into the story as I move along. And it is light sci-fi. It's not heavy sci-fi. I kind of go back and forth with genre, what to call it, paranormal, sci-fi, one of those two.
Okay. So what is the science fiction part of it?
Well, Eve's actually from an extraterrestrial community that lives on Earth. That's her whole family background, which kind of comes out through the first couple of books. So you kind of know that as you read. But yet she's caught up in a situation of who do I tell, who do I not tell, who do I trust? And that kind of brings her brother into the picture as well, because he's got a whole story in the book prior to Spark. So when you know his story, then you kind of understand Eve's story.
Okay. So I need to do some homework and go back to some of the older books, Robin.
Yeah.
And that's what's wonderful about your books. At the end of each of your books, you put in a couple of pages leading into the next book. So that
leading
makes
into the
us
next
can't
book.
wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So even though the story itself wraps up and you get an ending, there's not quite something. There's a little bit more left to deal with. Mm-hmm. So that's where the next book will come in. So I'll have a fourth book.
Is this part of the Red Line series, or is that two different series?
There is a connection to the original Red Line trilogy. So there's the original Red Line, the first 3 books, and now there's the next 4 books. But yet I incorporate characters from the original Red Line trilogy. And then this next book, After Spark, will bring the two series together.
And you also are a humorist, so there are humorous moments.
Yeah, I like to have a little humor in there.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it fun. You got to have a few laughs.
See, I was asking about the big brother because Eve needs a big brother.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I
need
can't.
A little guidance.
But I can't learn about him because it'll ruin it for everybody else who's reading it.
Well, yeah, keep reading. That's all I can say.
Well, you know how to provide the reader with a little bit of tension between the characters.
I like a little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tension between characters. I like a little bump up against, a little headbutting. I think it keeps the reader interested, and it's kind of boring if nobody gets in a fight or argues.
Has Hollywood knocked on your door? These sound like they might work in films. I don't know.
Everybody asks me that. It hasn't happened yet, but you never know. Maybe one day. I would get people who always like, oh, I see so-and-so is this character and so-and-so is this character.
But does that ever
So I
work
get
out?
that. I get those questions, but it hasn't happened. Not yet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, some authors will tell us that they don't really want that because they've had that experience, and unless you get Spielberg or somebody of that caliber, you get disappointed.
Yeah.
So, you put a lot into these stories, and these are your characters. Somebody could ruin them, right?
Yeah, I suppose if you do that, you kind of have to sign your rights away, and then they have access to the story, and they can change the story any way they want to, unless you were able to write in that they couldn't do that. But I don't know that you're going to be able to do that.
I know.
So, I guess it would be a little weird.
I can't remember what book it was that was made into a movie, but Robin and I knew the author, and we couldn't wait to see the movie, and there it was, and it says, based on a screenplay by, and it puts somebody else's name. I said, wait a minute. It's based on a book by. It's wait a minute. They just totally didn't even mention in the opening. At the end, you could see the credits that mentioned the author.
Yeah.
But
the book is one thing, screenplay is another. So unless you the screenplay, somebody else gets credit for that.
And the book is about family. I mean, whether you're a family at work or a family through marriage or other types of families, it brings everybody together.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like having that aspect of no matter what the heck is going on, it always comes back to family and the people you rely on when things are tough. And even though you may get mad at each other or things aren't going well, at the very end, those are the people you rely on.
So when you
get you through it.
When you write so much, do you have time to read?
I don't have a lot of time to read. I wish I had more time to read because you're doing exactly right. I'm either writing or I'm editing or I'm thinking of the next book. And so if I read, I might read when I try and go to bed, when I go to bed at night, but then I fall asleep and I don't really get through much. But I wish I had more time for reading. We have
a program in town where people will read to groups of people, like at the library. They'll have these reading aloud moments. This seems like a good candidate for that kind of an event.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. I think people would enjoy that.
They do it at 1 hour at a time. This would be like a 15-hour week, wouldn't it? I mean, 15-hour.
I think so, yeah.
15 minutes. All right, I have a copy of Spark. If you would like the one that I have, call me right now, 622-9622. I'll pick one phone call at random and just give it to whoever is on the other end of the line. The rest of us have to go buy it. I did find it on Amazon where you have 5-star ratings. Do you have a website you want to direct us to?
Yeah, I have a website, jtbishopauthor.com.
All right, that's easy, jtbishopauthor.com. JT, thank you so much for being on the air with us today.
I appreciate it. I had a good time. Thanks so much.
That was fun. We'll be right back.
It's Strawberry Festival time again on March 2nd, and the Ocala business leaders are going to be there. Stop by their booth and get a free directory of the many trusted businesses that are listed in it. Ocala Business Leaders.